Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me today. This is your certified career coach. We're doing something a little bit different today. In a recent email, I had invited those who have lost their federal jobs and to see if there was anything that I can do. Now, I did get a couple of people email me, and they had specific questions. And I think if I did this recording, I might be able to reach those who weren't quite ready to reach out yet. And I realize that this time is panic time for some people, and people are still scrambling. So I thought I'd just put this out there and have you find it at your time, and hopefully it will give you a starting point. My goal is to help you kind of pause and organize what your next steps should be and to give you a starting point, the process to finding that new job. So we're going to jump right on in. Okay, so this topic is key steps for federal employees after a job loss. All right, so just an overview of what's been happening is as of 225, there have been over 30,000 federal employees who have either been let go or voluntarily on their own because they were given an option. And we know that there is more to come. And I know that many of those affected are scrambling. I'm hearing from different people at different levels and different members of families. Besides the parents who may be out of a job, their college age students are also worried whether or not they're going to be able to go back to school next semester. And then the younger ones, of course, are affected because they sense stress and panic. So my goal, I can give some kind of guidance to you. All right. And what we're going to look at is trying to figure out a strategic approach to this forced transition that you're going to have to make. And some of you are in the middle of it with no sense of direction. And my goal is to help you find that direction. So we're going to look at finding actionable steps for you to take that step forward. All right. So the first thing that I would suggest that you do is to take a moment and identify the transferable skills. In your role as a federal employee, there you have foundational skills that you have applied and relied on to do your job well. Well, those are skills that could transfer into maybe a related industry or a counterpart in the private sector. So take a look at your strongest skills, analytical skills, maybe it's project management, and also look at industries that would value the knowledge that you have as a federal government. We've all heard of stories where employees have been poached from either the customer side, the manufacturer side, the contractor side. This is similar to what I'm saying. There are different areas, different organizations or perspective in your career ecosystem that you will provide value to. And that's what I want you to consider. Okay? Just because you are no longer employed with the federal government does not mean that your skills have no value. It has a lot of value. Challenge is just finding the right organization that will see your value. Sometimes, though, when you've been in a position for many, many years, sometimes we forget what those skills are. And so some of you may need to jog your memory to figure out what is it exactly that you're good at. So if you are at that stage, consider doing assessments on the Department of Labor website called ONET Online. Those are very robust assessments. You answer as many assessments as you can, and it will narrow down for you what your skills, what you're good at, and give you suggestions of the types of careers that would make sense for someone with your strength. All right, so what does this look like, right? Well, this is a very simplistic example, but I just wanted to give you a visual of what it could look like. So if a federal compliance officer is looking to transfer into the private sector, what they could be looking at the corporate level is risk management. And they have that insurance, they have that insecurity. So take a look at where your specific talents, skills, and experience will be valued. Step two leads us exactly to what we were just talking about. Where do you go? Where will your talents be valued in the private sector? All right, so understanding that your skills have value and will continue to be valuable to different organizations, right? Your environment may change, the industry might change, the economy is changing, right? So looking at the changes that are happening and then adapting to see where your targeted industry is going and how valuable will your knowledge and your skills be. That's how you kind of find your direction, right? And then also explore adjacent industries. I realize that your career ecosystem has been dismantled because it's not just you looking for employment, it's your coworkers, your colleagues in different departments, maybe your managers or directors. So everybody's kind of scrambling, and it's almost like a race, kind of like the Hunger Games, right? Sometimes that's a feeling that I sense that most job seekers are feeling. So take a look at what's in front of you and what you're actually bringing to the table, right? This is how you keep your confidence up, knowing what your value is, knowing what your skills are, knowing that there are organizations out there who will value your experience as a federal government employee. All right, step three. How do we even figure out where that is, right? Assess your professional network. The traditional way of job seeking is a little different when there is a massive layoff. Because again, it's not just you looking for employment, it is your coworkers, your colleagues, your managers, your directors. So we've got to dig in and look at the tools available to us. One is the fact that you are all together in this new transition. Keep in contact with your colleagues and coworkers because while you may all be looking for a job, and like I said, sometimes it feels like the Hunger Games, a race to get the job. You're not all looking for the same job because if they come across a job that's not quite a fit for them, it may be a fit for you. So keeping that network connected and sharing information like a grapevine will help you support each other. Somebody that might be on the other side of your government contract, maybe it's the vendor, maybe it's the contractor, customer, even. Keep these connections open and connected. Okay. And how do you do that? Well, you can utilize LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the only social media that I suggest that everybody have because it's a harder conversation to have to explain why you're not on LinkedIn, unless, of course, you are working for the federal government in one of those agencies that are very discreet. Otherwise, you should be on LinkedIn. And this is how you connect with people. In fact, I no longer have a business card, and I don't expect others to have business cards either. When I meet people at conferences, most conferences put LinkedIn into their platform. So all we have to do is connect on LinkedIn. And that is how we continue to find each other. And when I say get connected, you don't have to be connected with them or communicate with them every week, not even every month. But when you find something that they might be interested in, send it to them. Let them know that they made an impression on you and that the information that you discussed is still relevant. And they will likely do the same. Keep that open communication. Okay. Join associations for your industries. This is where you're going to find like minded people. And don't think of it as a race to get the job because, again, you're not all looking for the same job, but you're all still maybe in the same industry. So the similarities are going to be there. And the type of work and knowledge of opportunities will be there. And you want to make sure you tap into that. And then, of course, if you're part of an alumni association with your alma mater or your current college, make sure that you connect with them as well, because most alumni network will pull in and support each other. And so you want to make sure that you offer support there and that you also get your support from your alumni network. What does reconnecting your professional network look like? Well, let's look at an example. Reconnecting with an old colleague who might have a connection or an insight to an opportunity that you might be a fit for. And you've all heard that most jobs are filled through referrals. And we've all seen what we call ghost job postings where it may be advertised for 2, 3 days and then it's pulled. Well, likely they already had somebody in mind for the position, and it's just a legality that they had to put it out there. Okay. So make sure you tap into your network and let people know that you're looking for a new position. Let people know that you are an expert in a specific area. So make sure that you tap into every tool that you can. Okay, so now the question is, well, how do I reconnect with everybody again? Right? And some of you are probably introverts or maybe out of practice extroverts. It is again important to reconnect with your network. And so acknowledging that a lot of your peers, again, may be in similar situation. Everybody may be out of work because possibly your department was dismantled, possibly your organization as a whole dismantled. So realizing that everybody is in the same boat, okay? Offering your support, keeping an eye out for any job openings that you might come across, you might want to share with your network. And this is easily done on LinkedIn. I know when I see a colleague of mine post a job, and while it may not be a job that is a fit for some of the students I'm working with, I will I will repost it because I want everyone in my network to see it because somebody may be looking for that job. And if you like something, that will also put it into your feed so that your network can see it. I think sharing is going to be a big key to reconnecting. Sharing information on LinkedIn, reposting, and all it's just a couple of clicks. It's not a big lift on your end. Share job postings, hiring events that you see, share positions, share news, because that is the only way you are going to learn about certain events, certain opportunities. And so it's a two-way street. Support others and they will support you as well. So, what does this look like, right? Well, if you are all connected, this is your peers that you have recently left in a job, consider formalizing a small job search accountability group. And again, it's just sharing that information. You don't have to have formal meetings. You could just be connected on LinkedIn. You see something that maybe Joe would be a perfect fit for, send it to Joe. And if Joe sees something that maybe Robert is good fit for, send it to Robert. And if Robert sees something for Mary, and so it just kind of goes around. This is how you're going to support each other because you all have value, you all have knowledge, you're all well connected. So at some point, you're going to come across information that you may not be able to use or may not be useful to you, but it may be the information that one of your colleagues is waiting for. All right, next step, your resume. And I understand this is a daunting task, your resume that maybe you haven't touched in 10, 15 years, but now you're going to have to. And there is no way around this. This is something that has to be done. But the good thing is there are tools out there that you can use. Update, you might have to update your experience section, right? You're going to have to put your recent accomplishments, right? You're going to have to include relevant platforms today that may not have been on your resume when you got the job 7 years ago, but it's something that you use now or something that is now commonly used in your industry. You have to make sure all that is on your resume today because you want to come across relevant. You want to come across as knowledgeable in today's market, okay? And whatever discipline that may be. So, a couple of tools that you can use, okay? One is free. It's a free platform called JobScan, JobScan, JobScan. It allows, there's a free version. It allows you 5 scans, free scans per month. And what you can do is you can take your resume and the job posting and scan it against each other. And it will give you a percentage match. And it will point out where you're weak and where you can strengthen it. Okay. And then one I really like is Tag Crowd. Tag, T-A-G Crowd. Tag Crowd, like you're it, is a platform. It's a free platform where you can cut and paste the words that you use on your resume, and it will give you a visual of small words and large words. The larger the words, the more common that you use them. But how to use it? Why is this important? Well, because you can also cut and paste the job description that you are applying to. And you want to make sure that you are going to be speaking the same language as that employer has posted. Your job as the applicant is to convey that you are part of the solution that they are looking for. And those two tools can be very, very helpful. And of course, there's other tools you can find out there. We can't miss ChatGPT. ChatGPT has a free version, and you can ask it anything to help you rewrite a description that you've created for your resume. It can help you analyze the job posting that you're interested in. It can help identify the key elements that your resume needs in order to convey that you're a good fit. Use ChatGPT as your tool to help you gather information and to refine your resume and cover letter. All right, so steps for successful outcome. Let's look at simplified examples of how these will play out. All right, so a federal HR professional can transition into corporate talent acquisition, right? And that's a no-brainer. That's pretty easy. Case study 2, a former government analyst moves into consulting, leveraging their network. If they seek out private sector companies that do exactly the same thing or possibly have been the customers that government contracts were supporting, they already have that built-in knowledge. And then last case study, a furloughed federal employee lands a role in nonprofit sector through LinkedIn network. Okay, so again, working your network, making sure that you reach out and apply the tools that you have. And it's not going to be easy. In addition to the panic, the scrambling, you've got families that you need to take care of while you're doing this thing on the side and trying to create a flawless resume and come across as somebody that is polished, fine-tuned, and ready to tackle new experiences, while inside you may be panicking. Understand that you're not alone. Everyone is going through this. So, reminders. Take a deep breath. You will get through this, okay? Share your experiences with your colleague. Reach out. I can't stress that enough. Engage with others. This is not the time to hide. This is the time for you to reach out and offer help to others so that you can remind them of how of a great team member you were, can be, and will be. If this is helpful to you, look at the rest of my channel because it is everything career related that you could possibly need during your job search. And of course, if you think of any questions that I haven't touched on, feel free to email me at 3amcareercoach@gmail.com. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.